Hello, everyone. Hi, Cheryl Arkle. I'm back, and I'm sitting next to Tania Blanchard. Say hi, Tania.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, Cheryl Arkle. This is the What Are You Reading segment. I've been away for 7 weeks, Tania, so this is my first day back at work, and I love this segment. I love the conversation. So many of our readers join us. Tania is our special guest tonight. Now, you will all know Tania from The Girl from Munich, also Suitcase of Dreams, Echoes of War. Is that the book we're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it will now be
Okay.
Daughter of Calabria.
All right. Well, I will talk about that in a minute,
Yep.
but let's keep going here.
Yep.
Cheryl Arkle, you know what to do. This is What Are You Reading? We tell you what we're reading. Tania will tell you what she's reading, and you're going to tell us what you're reading. Okay, so let's start with what's happening here. So all of you, as I said, will remember Tania from The Girl from Munich. Now, what's happened is that we've republished. So this is a trade paperback, right? And trade paperbacks normally go to Bs, right? And in this instance, the B format is actually called Daughter of Calabria. It's the same book.
Yeah.
Now, I know that's going to be really confusing.
Yeah.
But it's not. And it's called Daughter of Calabria. Do you want to talk about that for a little bit?
Yeah, I'd love to talk about this. So, as Cheryl said, Echoes of War was published last year, this one here. And it was published during lockdown, actually. So when it came time to do a B format, this one here, my publishers thought they'd ask my readers what they loved about historical fiction in covers and titles, and just get a bit more sense of whether the cover and title of Echoes of War was telling the story as well as it could be, and the setting as well. And what came back is that people want a cover and a title that tells the story a little bit more, and also has the protagonist front and centre. So as we can see here, we've got the beautiful Julia still on the front cover, looking gorgeous, but now rather than the Mediterranean look here, she's now in a field of beautiful Italian wildflowers foraging for herbs. And the title, Daughter of Calabria, was also a beautiful nod and homage to my Italian and Calabrian grandmother, who the main character Julia is inspired by. So really lucky that I've got the opportunity to have a new title and a new cover and a refresh of the same book.
So just remember, if you've read Echoes of War, you have read Daughter of Calabria.
That's right.
Okay, I think we've explained that sufficiently.
Yeah.
Welcome to everybody. As I said, it's been 7 weeks since I've been here, and a lot of you followed me on Instagram and followed my journey, which was so wonderful. Barbie says Troubled Blood by Robert Galbraith is what she's reading. Carolyn says hi. It's lovely to see you back. Thank you, Carolyn. You've been missed. Oh, thank you. Carolyn also says hi to Tania.
Hi.
Christy says welcome back, Cheryl, and hello, Tania.
Hi.
Kylie says The French Spy by Belinda Alexander is what she's reading, and she's loving it. Don't we love Belinda?
Yeah, she's amazing.
Mary says hi. Mary Lou Stevens says hello, Cheryl and Tania. Lovely to see you both. A fascinating story. Read the change of title and cover, and thanks for sharing it with us. Jenny says hi. Jenny just finished Exiles by Jane Harper. Natasha says hi. Just finished The Gripping, The Whispering by Veronica Lando on audiobooks. Janine says hi, Cheryl and Tania. Love your books, Tania.
Thanks,
at the
Janine.
moment, reading Tomorrow by Gabriel Zevin. Interesting read. Okay, so welcome everybody to our favourite segment. I'm going to start talking about a few books. I've got so much to talk about. One of them is the brand new Nicholas Sparks, called Dreamland. It's a really beautiful love story about risking everything for a dream. And we all know Nicholas Sparks, best-selling writer, tells a beautiful romance story, I guess. And some previous books, I'm going to hold them up, but you all know Nicholas Sparks. Okay, I've also got The Promise from Nicola Marsh. And that's out now. It's heartwarming and a rural romance in a way. It's set in a small town of Acacia, I think, and we all love Nicola, and this is a beautiful book. Yeah, it's quite sweet. Okay, Summer of Serenity was her previous book as well. All right, so what are you guys reading? Do you want to talk about a book while I find my spot?
Sure, absolutely.
Okay.
Well, you may have seen this out, which came out yesterday, I believe, Natasha Lester's The 3 Lives of Alex St. Pierre. I was lucky enough to read this as an ARC before it was actually out on the shelves, and it was fabulous. A great read. 2 to 3 storylines, a gorgeous cover. I love it. Look at the colours; they just pop.
Yeah,
and that was one of the first things I said about it, that I love the cover. It's instantly you want to pick it up and read it. And look, the read is just as beautiful as the cover. Set post-World War II in Dior's salon in Paris. Alex is there working for Dior amongst those magnificent gowns. So really luxurious and post-war glamour after the terrible horrors of World War II, which she's endured as well. So two storylines with her during World War II and also post-war, and obviously someone from her past during the war comes back to haunt her, and it's a fabulous and really gripping story. So I really loved this book.
Okay, well, so did Julie. Julie's just finished Natasha Lester's 3 Lives of Alex St. Pierre.
Yep, St. Pierre.
Sabine is reading The Sister's Gift by Barbara Hannay. Kerry says, welcome back. Hi, Kerry. And she's reading The Dictators. What else have we got? I've lost my spot. Mary is reading The Secret Wife by Mark Lamprell and Family Matters by Ellie O'Neill. Yvonne is reading Recipe for Framiki by Tori. We love her. She writes beautiful books. Same publisher. Is that right? Yeah. Anyway, she is, I think.
Yep.
Mary just bought the Nicholas Spark book today. Oh, that was the one we were just talking about over here somewhere.
Yeah.
Dreamland. There you go. Okay. Julie is about to start Mother-in-Law by Sally Hepworth. Kerry is reading The Dictator's Muse by Nigel Farndale. Mariette is reading A Little Lie by Hanya Yanagara. Good read, a big read. Sally is reading The Bellbird Country Choir by Sophie Green and loving it. We had Sophie in here a little while ago. She's great, isn't she?
Yeah, she's great.
Yeah. Keisha says, lovely to see you both. Reading All the Broken Places by John Boyne, and great sequel to The Boy in the Striped Pajamas. Meryl is reading Bedtime Story by Chloe Hooper. Do you know, I love that. That was one of my favourites recently. I enjoyed that book very much, and I had dinner with Chloe a few months ago and enjoyed it thoroughly. Okay, what else have you got?
Okay, I have also finished reading The Winter Dress by Lauren Chater.
Lauren Chater, isn't that another gorgeous cover?
I love the cover, love the cover. And this is another one you just instantly want to pick up and read. It's rich and detailed and glorious. And so is the story, I have to say. A beautiful, beautiful story based on a true story, in fact, about a silk dress that was picked up by divers when they looked at a shipwreck in Holland, so off the coast of the Netherlands, island of Texel, where a lot of shipwrecks actually happen. And they recovered this beautiful silk gown, almost completely intact, from about the 1700s.
Amazing. It's amazing.
Yeah, gorgeous. So it's a dual storyline about a textiles historian who is involved in the discovery of this gown and what happens with it, and trying to find out who wore this gown, who wore this gorgeous gown.
Who does it belong to?
Yeah. And so then the 1700s story is set in Texel and in the Netherlands, and has to do with this young girl who's associated with this very famous female artist at the time, and how both of them have something to do with this beautiful silk gown. Gorgeous, gorgeous writing.
Now, I've got to say, Tanya, and I think all of you people out there will agree with me, she is a good book reviewer. You're just very good at just bringing it all together. That's fantastic. Thank you for that.
That's okay.
All right. So we talked about Meryl, who's reading Bedtime Story by Chloe Hooper. Kate is just starting Natasha Lester's book now. Melissa says hi, and she's reading Family Inheritance by Tricia Stringer after finishing Tricia's The Girl from Munich last weekend. So obviously a Trisha fan. We love Trisha Stringer, and she often joins us in this segment, but she's not, I don't think she's there today. Karen, great to see you back, Cheryl. Thank you. Very happy to be back. And welcome to Tania. She's just finished Stone Town by Margaret Hickey, who I think Margaret sat for me in one of these what are you reading segments. She was here a couple of weeks ago, I think. Recommended on the next list, and she's also reading Wartime Library by Kate Thompson, or she's reading that next. Carolyn was excited to see me back. Thank you, Carolyn.
We all are.
I forgot to say I'm reading The Bullet That Missed by Richard Osmond. Segue. I've got that book right here. That's the new Richard Osmond. Isn't he a wonderful writer? And we've got the previous one and the previous one to that. And also, I recorded a podcast with him a few years back, and we're going to re-release that now. And we're going to put the link in comments, aren't we, Dex? So thank you. Now, I want to talk about, I've travelled quite extensively throughout Europe. I was so lucky. I did work along the way, but I did go to Barcelona, south of France, Paris, London, right? But do you know what was really special is I went to see the Aaron Sorkin play, To Kill a Mockingbird, in London. Can I tell you that was just one of the most remarkable things I've ever seen? You all know out there that I just love this book so much. He took a sledgehammer to the book. In a way that was so wonderful. He gave voices, because it is of its time, even though it's relevant in terms of racism and, sexism and all sorts of things that happen in the book. So what Aaron Sorkin did was he brought the voices out of those that didn't have a voice in the book. I know, it was extraordinary. Like the housekeeper. I've forgotten her name. What does anyone remember the house? That's a question for you out there. What's the housekeeper's name in To Kill Atticus's friend? Anyway, somebody will remember. Somebody tell me. See this, I don't know if you know this. What is it? Calpurnia is her name. Calpurnia had such a role in the play, and she had her voice was heard. She had an opinion. Her and Atticus sparred. It was so well done. Anyway, so I saw that and I really, really enjoyed it. So there you go. That was one of the highlights of my trip.
That's fabulous.
But what happened while I was away was Uncle Jack died. Jack Charles. And that was really, really sad news. There's the memoir. We had Uncle Jack, in the office a few years back for a podcast. And I spent a little bit of time with him, and such a great guy. Anyway, we're re-releasing the podcast as well. So have a listen to his story.
That'll be great.
Because it's quite remarkable, and he will be absolutely missed. And also, Hilary Mantel died while I was away. So that was also very sad news. So those things happened while I was travelling. And also the Queen died, of course.
The Queen did die.
Yes, the week that I arrived. Anyway, that I arrived in London. Kirsty Manning has a new book called The Paris Mystery. There's a little bit of a Paris thread. I mean, do you know, I went to Paris. I spent 4 days, and that is a little regret of mine on this trip. I should have spent more time in Paris. Sometimes you just don't know. Well, that's right. Next trip. Okay. So that's Kirsty, and we know her also for the French.
I love that cover.
Yeah, beautiful. Okay, let me read some more comments. Bev is reading The Secret Keeper by Kate Morton, the only one of hers I hadn't read. Looking forward to her new one. Yes, and that's coming out very shortly. Julie is reading The Three Sisters by Heather Morris. Emma, hello and hi to you. So lovely to be back, and so lovely to be sitting here with Tania reading your comments. Kate is enjoying The Seven Skins of Esther Wilding. Bev has just finished Minnie Dark's book, With Love, from Wish & Co. Great book. She's a lovely writer, Minnie. Emma, currently reading Song of Fate by Juliet Malia, and then on to Fairy Tale by Stephen King. Vanessa is reading The Whispering by Veronica Lando. Jill Wright said she loved The Winter Dress. Cheryl who we share a name, just finished Girl Forgotten by Karen Slaughter, and about to start The Nutritious Stringer, which I won from Better Reading. Oh, there you go. Jessica says, hi, almost finished reading East of the Sun by Julia Gregson, and then I'll be reading Jillaroo from Jacaranda by Mandy Margot, which is another good one. Kate, I absolutely love The Winter Dress. Jenny, waiting on my reserve at the Library of the French Agent by Belinda Alexandra. She was in here while I was away too. I think she might have done What Are You Reading?
She did.
She did.
She did.
She did. There you go. You guys are lucky. When I'm not here, you get some good people. Julie says Tania Blanchard is wonderful at plugging a good book. I agree. I agree. Julie agrees with me.
Never know, I might get a job here.
That's right. Lisa finally read After Story by Lisa Barrent. What a lovely read, and welcome back, Cheryl. Thank you, Lisa. Mary, have bought Richard Osmond's new one too. Have 2 books as an ebook from the library. Okay, I love it how people just get their books from all different places. Now, this is an amazing, amazing story, right? So the book is beautiful. It's called In Search of Perfumes. It's by Dominic, I think it's Rax, is the pronunciation. I was in France when I recorded a podcast with him. Isn't it? It was just extraordinary that here I was sitting there in France talking to Dominic, and he was further up north than where I was in Provence, and he was further up north. But I had the most wonderful conversation with him. This is such a wonderful book, and really talking about perfume and how, you know, authentic scent is, and also the supply chain of your perfume, like where roses come from, you know, and where people, you know, grow, and that perfume company then makes it their supplier and they grow roses for them. Anyway, he tells it much better than I do, so listen to the podcast. But I asked him, what perfume should I wear? Like, you know, what is the best perfume? Anyway, he gave me, he said it was Gucci Bloom, I think it was. And I'm not a perfume person. I haven't worn perfume in years. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to treat myself, because he really, really got me excited about perfume. So isn't it wonderful, the power of conversation, you know? Yeah. So then I went to the local department store, I think it was Galeries Lafayette or something, whatever it was in France, and to look for that perfume. But what he didn't tell me was there's 10 varieties of the one perfume. And so I was trying to work out which one I wanted. And I left with a massive headache.
Yeah, scent overload.
There is scent overload. I don't know how these people do it. But anyway, finally chose one. And what do you know? I was going to wear it today, but I forgot. Okay, good book. Anyway, that's that story. I've got a story for just about every book. Not for this one, though. Okay, this is Camilla Shamsi, and it's called Best of Friends. Now, she has won the Women's Prize, and it's about 2 friends set between Karachi and London. What a beautiful cover as well.
It is very striking.
Best of Friends, yeah. Okay, what else have you got?
This is something I read a while ago. It's a debut author. Her name is Jules Van Mille.
What a beautiful cover.
It is.
Again,
it is.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not very good at this. Okay. And it's called A Remarkable Woman.
Let me hold it.
Thank you.
You do the talking, I'll do the holding, because actually it matches my jumper.
Oh, it does. It's lovely.
It does.
And they're very calm and cool colours, aren't they? Beautiful. Yeah. Look, this is a beautiful migrant story about a French woman who comes to Australia in the 1950s. She, interestingly, had also worked in the Dior salon, and she comes to Australia and is settled in Melbourne and wants to get involved and set up her own business in the fashion industry. And lovely second storyline to this is set in the Darling Downs in Queensland, and the big Australian cattle and sheep stations, really dry and arid. And I love the contrast between the North Queensland story, where she travels up and experiences the Australian way of life, and the development of cosmopolitan Melbourne at the time, with these French influences coming in, these European influences, as she tries to set up her own fashion business. A really beautiful story by a debut author. She has written children's books before, I believe, but this is her first adult fiction. And I was really impressed. I really enjoyed this story. So if you like a good migrant story from a French point of view, have a read of this one.
We're doing all things France at the moment,
I don't know. That's the way it's
and
ended
I
up
just
this
come
year.
from France, and we didn't even know that. That was a coincidence, right?
Yep.
Okay. Astrid says, I love Tania Blanchard's book, but I'm having trouble finding Suitcase of Dreams. Is it up for reprint?
Look, I have heard this too. Look, I believe that there has been a little bit of an issue in the warehouse.
Printing, yeah.
Yeah, so I think that the books will be distributed and released pretty shortly. So hopefully you can find it soon. Look, but let me know if you can't.
Do you know, because apparently too at the moment there's because so many people are reading, there's a bit of a overflow or a queue, if you like, at the printer.
Yeah.
So that might be the case. But thanks, Astrid, for letting us know, and keep an eye out. Maria says, good afternoon, ladies. Finishing reading Bodies of Light. Very good, but unbearably sad. Now reading The Wedding Party. Needed something a bit lighter. Cindy says, hi, ladies. Reading Sarah J. Maas. And then on to Natasha Lester, and then read Kathy Lett's books, Till Death Do Us Part, last week. Hubby now reading that one. It's amazing how much these wonderful readers read.
Incredible.
Isn't it incredible? And I learned so much just from this segment. It's extraordinary.
I'd love to be able to read that much.
I
don't read anywhere near enough, and I'm really envious of anyone that can read. And that widely too, that varied.
Lee has come to us via YouTube, I think, and she says, hi, Cheryl and Tania. I'm working my way through Emma. I'm a classic newbie. Oh, good. But I just bought a copy of The Happiest Little Town by Barbara Hannay. And Sandra just finished Three Sisters. Mary, I have The Paris Mystery too. So many great books. Love The French Gift. Louise says, hi, ladies. Reading Emily Henry's book, Lovers. Melissa, reading I Give My Marriage a Year. Kylie, hi, ladies. Have you both well? I'm currently reading While You're in the Country by Eva Scott. And Jeannie, that was a fun read. I don't know what she was talking about, but because we've moved on. But I've got a few more books. Sorry. Gemini Falls. This is by Sean Wilson. I met him a couple of months ago, actually. Great guy. This is his first book. And he's Australian. He's from Melbourne. And it's set in a small town during the Great Depression. What a beautiful writer. And again, talking about gorgeous covers.
Yeah.
That's one of them. And that's out now. Sean Wilson.
Beautiful.
Okay. And there's also this one. Oh, wow. Had the most wonderful conversation. Have you read it?
No, it's on my list.
All That's Left Unsaid by Tracy Leanne. I mean, she is wonderful. I think this is her first. It is. It's debut.
Yeah.
This is the beginning of her career. It's set in Sydney's Cabramatta in the 90s. It's about family, trauma, and social discrimination. She is a wonderful storyteller, so well-spoken. I just loved my podcast with her, and I think that's coming out soon as well.
Yeah, beautiful.
Really beautiful. I mean, there's just so many talented people out there, isn't there?
Yep.
Okay, have you got anything?
Some of my to-be-read pile.
Okay.
Now, Tracy, I think it was, said she was reading Sarah J. Maas.
Yes.
Throne of Glass is on my to-be-read pile. I love reading fantasy, and I don't get to read it very often. I haven't read it for ages. And I know that the latest books from Sarah J. Maas are really popular and have done really well. And I was talking to my daughter about it, who is a great fan of this lady. And she said, here we go, take this copy of mine, Throne of Glass. This is where you need to start. So that's on my to-be-read pile, which I'll get to hopefully shortly.
Okay, now listen, there's a couple of things that I need to tell you. Next week on the What Are You Reading segment is going to be very, very special. We've got a special surprise, which we showed you earlier, didn't we?
Yes.
And it's a good surprise.
Very
and
good.
We're going to be giving away prizes. We're going to be giving away 3 prizes at next Thursday, What Are You Reading, 2 p.m. So join us if you can. Annie's reading The Midnight Hour by Ellie Griffiths. Jane just finished 26 Letters by Charlotte Nash. Fantastic read. Yvonne, sorry she's late, but she's just finished reading Lying Beside You by Michael Rowbotham. It was so good. Is that on your list?
Yes,
yeah,
absolutely.
Anita is giving advice about where to get your book,
wonderful.
And she said try Dimmicks Online or Booktopia.
Good.
Just looked for you and it's available.
Oh, thanks, Anita, for looking.
Yeah, thank you for
Appreciate
that. Mary Lou recently read The Angry Women's Choir by Meg Bignell and loved it. Yeah, that's getting a lot of good reviews, actually.
Yeah.
Carolyn loved Gucci Bloom, the perfume, and wear it a lot in summer. A gorgeous
There you
fragrance.
are.
There you go.
You're on a winner.
I'm on a winner. I'm really annoyed that I didn't wear it today. But anyway, Anita is reading The French Agent by Belinda Alexandra. Belinda says, hi, Cheryl, welcome back. Hi, Tanya. I'm reading The Librarian. The Librarian Spy by
That looks
Madeline
great.
Martin. Yeah, it's
Hi,
fantastic. Hi, Belinda. Have you got, we're running out of time, but just maybe hold them up.
Yes. I'm embarrassed to say that I haven't got round to reading this yet, the Dictionary of Lost Words. That's on my to-be-read pile. Looks amazing. And The Miniaturist. It's an oldie but a goodie. I know she's got a new book that's just come out, but after reading The Winter Dress, I thought I've got to get back to this. I saw the TV series, loved it, so that's another one on my to-be-read list.
All right, well, there you go. That's it. That's us for today.
Wow.
Tania Blanchard, thank you very, very much.
Thanks,
you were
Shelley.
absolutely terrific.
Thanks.
Please join me in thanking Tania. That's it from me. Don't forget to write a review for our podcast. Don't forget next Thursday, because there are prizes to be won, and it's a big day. And thank you for welcoming me back, and thank you again to Tania. See you next time.